Shalom.
Shalom.
All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Harakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, great most honorable well. And shalom to all the brothers doing the work out here and pushing this word to the four corners, man. Hastening the coming of Yahushua, man. And that's the year we're in. And that's what you're seeing. Seeing nothing but things progressing, man. And more terrors coming out. We're just talking about this situation in Germany with the flood followed by a mudslide, and that's a judgment of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. That's a scourge for amendment. But with how Esau's molded the world, with how these things are viewed within Esau's realm, these things are just looked at like, oh, it's just an unfortunate happening. And that's kind of the con. People look at things carnally. They're just looking at things through their own like in a fleshly manner. That's why these things don't hold any weight as far as like, okay, when we deal with the scriptures, when we deal with prophecy. But hey, that's the time we're in, where judgments are flying out, where people are getting wiped out, and these things are co-signed by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And it's going to continue to happen. And as well, you had Europe start looking into the crypto euro. You had what's it called? The brain implants as well. Had a few of those kept popping up. Hey, it's getting peak, man. You got like in the UK this month, the what the hell is it called? The Brexit the 6-month stay on the customs, what do you call it? I think it got extended for some of it for like another 2 or 3 months. But it's like some of the places that's come in, and that's impacting business. People are feeling it. So by and large, when you look at society, there's multiple angles by where crunch is being felt, and it's not come to the full impact. You had everything like the final like restrictions on like wearing masks and everything being removed in the UK from Monday on the 19th, and then it's like yesterday they were saying like there was 50,000 new cases. I was like, that's kind of hilarious, but it's probably just probably mostly just from like the what you call it, the Euro games happening. But it's just like there's a lot of things, and it's with like this whole everything opening up. They're already planting the seeds for everything closing back up, because you go to Australia, shit's closing back up, Europe as well closing back up, and England is only just about to open up. But we'll see. Hey, we'll see what goes down. But that's why it's ASAP time. Let me read this. I haven't read it in ages. You got something?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
It's the book of 2nd Ezra 16 and 19. Behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges.
Yeah, they ain't gonna turn back. They ain't gonna be mindful of the scourges. They're basically just looking at it like, oh, this is terrible, and then two men are gonna go and have sex. That's why it's like, what Esau's what the judgment's being like laid upon them for. No one's taking heed. No one's listening to the message. It's this ain't gonna be like Nineveh, where there's gonna be a turn. This is that final judgment, and as well, the man we're dealing with is Esau. This guy is the personification of the wicked man. He's the border of wickedness. His role is basically to be that wicked man. He's there to be the ultimate paragon of the left-hand side in complete unrighteousness, and then to receive the ultimate judgment because of that. And that's then be the ultimate example of why that is the worst possible stance you can take. And that's what we're gonna see. That's why it's like that. People ain't turning back. People are gonna be entrenched, emboldened within their wickedness, man. And that's all you've seen.
I got more. Because it goes into what you said, verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion.
Yeah, that's all these things. They're tied in, man. They're linked together, and that's why it's like what the victuals being good cheap, and the monetary price is going up. That's something that that's happening as well. So like inflation was 5% higher in the U.S. year on year, and last month it was 5.4%. This month, last month was 5%. So it's going up steadily, and as more things come in, it's getting peak, man. The what the hell is it called, man? The markets as well. That shit's been a casino for like the last year and change. So all that the bubble is reached spectacular size. It's all going to be felt, and then that's going to impact the monetary side. That's the thing. All these things are linked up with how and with Esau's economy as well. It's a global economy. All these things are linked. If the dollar crashes, that's going to impact the euro. If the euro crashes, it'll impact the pound. If the pound crashes, it will impact all the economies are all going to be working and bouncing off each other. And it's that negative impact going to drag them all down. And that's why they'll that mark is going to be that boon of salvation to the people of the world. Because that's the other thing as well. People in the world, they're invested in this place. They want this place to continue. They're not looking for so-called black men to come back in a so-called UFO from the heavens and take over the earth. That's a vision of their worst nightmares. They're thinking about the bombs dropping. They're thinking about the Marvel movies. They're thinking about what creps they're gonna get. They're thinking about going back to clubs and going absolutely buck wild. They're thinking about getting snaps for their socials. That's what they're thinking about. They're not putting any weight on prophecy. They're not putting any weight on the scriptures.
And that's because, again, like I said, victuals shall be so good. They think they're in good case because they can afford these things.
Yeah.
Even though, like you said, the inflation's going up.
Yeah, they've got all that free money. They got the Trump bucks. They got the Biden bucks. They got the Boris bucks. They got all these bucks. So it's they can go and enjoy it for the time being. But that's why it's the sun's out. It's summertime. It's a time to enjoy it as far as they see it. But that's how far is that gonna run? And the thing is as well, you still got people that are living in abject fear, man, abject terror. Of something that they can have very little to no impact over, which is dealing with that CV19. You got more on yours,
No, that's it.
So I read this, Matthew 24 and 3.
Fucking sorry.
So yeah, these insects
The
are going
flies,
wild. Yeah, no, for real.
It's jumping on me. I'm finding it off. It's coming back on me.
And Matthew 24 and 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, "Tell us, when shall these things be?"
This nigga starts singing and singing. Fucking
Yeah, legit.
yes.
Just like okay. Matthew 24 and 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, "Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?" And this is a key question. Because as far as if you're a man of faith, these are the things that you're meant to be meditating on, man. When you go to the book of Revelation, I remember in the world reading the book of Revelation being like, yo, I can't even decipher is that like an official performance? Fucking hell, really. When dealing with the book of Revelation, like I remember in the world just reading it and just being like, yo, I can't even pass what's going on here. But this shit is this is of significance. So I was you try for carnal means, you don't really know what the hell's going on. But then it's like once you get the breakdowns, then you realize, yo, the spirit, once spirit works with you, then it's just like, yo, it's actually wild. This is do or die information, man. This is essential. This is necessary for survival. But for the people in the world, they're without faith, man. They're basically things essential for survival for them is being able to continue to enjoy, to indulge within the society. But then what? That's how far is that going to run you? Because that's the thing, you've got the examples. You look back through the history books, you go to all these different societies, people were indulging, people were expecting it to last forever as well. But then what happened? They all came to an end, they all fell. Even the Brits, the British Empire, man, that shit seemed magnificent for a time. That was a pinnacle, the apex. Then after World War II, you had the rise of America came and overtook them by far. And now it's what man of Brexit and to basically be like they're gonna be on some level. But they ain't really, no, their time's done, man. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I'm the anointed, and shall deceive many. Yeah, and deceit is happening heavy. Esau, that's the thing as well. It's like, even if you want to go and even if we're gonna go and try and find out or find the truth, Esau's laid snares all over, and really, it's the word is a stumbling block anyway. It's dark sayings. This ain't easy to pass. The book was sealed, man, and it's really the only one worthy to open the book was what Yahushua. So through the spirit of Yahushua, that's how you can get the understanding. But that's only for his sheep. Everyone else is out there. They're left in the darkness, man. They're left in confusion. They're left deaf and blinded until the destruction's coming, man.
I got a quick precept.
Go on.
Isaiah 33 and 5 and 6. The Lord Yahweh is exalted, for he dwelleth on high. He hath filled Zion with judgment and righteousness, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation.
Yeah, wisdom and knowledge is a stability. That's what's necessary.
Last little.
No, that's what's necessary to pass through when trouble comes, tribulation comes. 'Cause otherwise, you'll just be caught out there. If shit, so that's why it's like when you go back to last year, March, when shit was locking down, people were worried, man. People were stressed. People were like, "Yo, what's going on?" They were looking for answers. But
says the fear of the Lord is his treasure.
And that's what's necessary to really get through. You need that fear of the Lord. Otherwise, you're just gonna be caught. You're gonna be caught in, the judgment says, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be altogether unpunished. Join in hands with Esau. Esau's the one receiving the judgment. You ain't even gonna be able to understand that. When you go back 2,000 years ago, it was what that man of sin needed to be revealed. Back then, they weren't even aware of who the Romans were. They were just thinking like, yo, the Romans, because that's Esau the chameleon, man, the vagabond. He can move and chop and change. Now he's a so-called white man. He's a European. He's become the Anglo-Saxon. The all kinds of different identities, even a Caucasian, but he's not moving like the Edomite. But that's why it's been revealed who he is, and that's why now it's like you realize, okay, what's going down? You go to 2nd Ezra 6. Esau is the end of the world, Jacob's beginning of the followers. Now you realize the time we're in. And that's why you ain't going to be looking to be thinking, okay, I'm worrying about getting this. Okay, I need to get set up here. I need to get my family set up here. I need to get this. You're thinking, okay, you're thinking about the kingdom. Thinking about all this thing coming to an end. And that's where your energy is being diverted to. Because deal with people in the world, they're not trying to go anywhere. They don't see, there's nowhere they can see, man. The vision not been revealed to them. They might even be getting dreams delivered to them as well, because hella people get dreams. You talk to some guys in the world about their dreams, you're like, yo, these guys are having spiritual dreams. They ain't even know. They can't even break it down. Might break it down to them. They'll bug out, man. It's funny because even with it's like with what was it? Daniel? Where his head was sore? Was it Ezekiel?
No, Daniel.
Daniel, yeah. Where it's like he saw the vision, the angel broke it down. It was like he was just sick upon his bed. He was passed out for days. Because that's how raw it is. So that's what it's like. It's really the spirit. Some of them will just break it down to you just for for the sake of the brotherhood.
I got something. Proverbs 1 and 7. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is fools despise wisdom and instruction. It's there's a differential, man, and that's really why it's you've basically got to come in. You got to have that hunger and seek for that knowledge, for that wisdom, for that understanding, and then Yahweh shall works with you, the Spirit works with you, and then you can get it.
Well, another one. Proverbs 4 and 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding.
Yeah, because otherwise it's the only way you're going to be able to stay. We continue on this. So Matthew 24:6, it says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places." Yeah, so that's the thing is when war's on the horizon, people get antsy as hell. It's funny, I was watching a YouTube video that was from like 2020 January, and people were talking about, oh well, World War III might kick off. So I ain't even like I was like, I forgot everyone was getting antsy as hell about that World War III because it was looking like shit was gonna pop off. But that's the thing is with these things, up until Esau is all about bread and circus. It's all about distraction. It's all about just that bliss, that pleasure-seeking lifestyle. That's why these guys are being entertained. Everyone's desiring that escape, because as far as for them, they've been living in not getting any of the gains that you're meant to be getting, any of the enjoyment, any of what the hell you come to Babylon for. There's people they have them two-year visas if you're in the Commonwealth. There's people that come from like Australia. They come here and they've just been stuck indoors for like a year. They're just like, just wasting my life, their best years, because that's as far as for them, that's all they're thinking about. But what it's hey, enjoy that. But then once the serious shit comes, all that goes out the window. Because that's why it's like all these different social constructs that everyone's putting their heart and soul into. That shit's gonna go out the window as soon as a carpet bombing happens. No one gives a fuck. And that's as real as it's gonna get. It's gonna be once the troubles comes, once that time of trouble intensifies, and then it's just like it's getting real. You watch it's anytime you watch those movies where like The Purge, where it's just like, okay, it's life and death. Then it's just like, oh shit. Okay. Then it gets real as fuck.
Speaking on The Purge, they got the Purge Forever, where the new concept is basically the Purge is meant to lock off. Then when they meant to do the siren, they say Purge will last forever. It's legal to kill people. So basically, this whole Purge shit is basically the elites letting you know, like with Hollywood, the movies they always show you what's about to happen, kind of thing, predictive programming. But a lot of it is a dramatization of things to come. There's what they're showing is there's gonna be a lawlessness out here that is spoke of in the prophecies in the Bible, basically dealing with the women looking for a man to take away
Covering from the wind.
Yeah, and to be called by their name.
Yeah, and it's the men shall be as women.
Yeah,
and shit's just gonna be real. Shit's gonna be completely raw. That's why it's like you ain't gonna have a guarantee of food. It's like my servants shall eat. But what? People are gonna be out here starving. People are gonna be out here getting raped, robbed, murdered. All these different things are gonna be going down. Because why? And that's the thing. You go into these situations. You go into these places where they're battlefields. You go into these places where law and order's thrown out the window. That's why it's like Afghanistan. As soon as America said they were gonna leave Afghanistan, they started moving troops out. They started moving people out. It's all of a sudden it's completely collapsing. Because why? That was a place where it was Esau completely destroyed all form of structure for it and used it as a fucking drug production line, poppy production line. And now he's milked it for what he needs from it, and he's fucking off. And then what? That's gonna descend into chaos. And then Esau just utilizing it. That's what the same thing with the whole Haiti situation. Those article I opened it. I didn't even get around to reading it, where they said like the guys who did it, who did the assassination in Haiti, they were trained by the U.S. It was just like, oh, they were trained at one point by the U.S. I was like, man, come on. I was like, no one was surprised, because as soon as it happened, America was just like, oh, we might need to intervene. Oh, we might need to send troops. This, that. I was like, these things are done as power plays, and it's basically consolidate power. That's what Esau deals with.
Let me get the scripture.
Go on.
Isaiah 13:6. How ye, for the day of the Lord Yahweh is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. And they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it.
Yeah, and days gonna come soon. That's what it's reality is gonna have that shift, man, where it's just gonna go from, now when it's mild, it's vague, it's not really undefined. You can kind of, you're just able to get by. So when it's gonna be intense, it's gonna be raw, it's gonna be some real shit, man.
This is all the big. Sorry, go on.
No, just getting by day to day, that's not going to be something of ease. Now you just go Tesco, you go grab you go to Chippy, you go wherever, and then it's sustenance is easy. You want some water, you turn the tap on, or you go to you go buy some bottled water, whatever. These things are not going to be so, and that's the thing. People are really not prepared. Because as far as when you deal with what Esau society, this is the lap of luxury. People have it real easy. That's why people are fucking overweight. Being overweight is one of the most luxurious states to be in on the face of the planet Earth.
For real.
Like being able to indulge to the point where you can be lax enough that your consuming calories aren't going anywhere. And then as well that you have enough to even pile on weight. That's why he's always talking about, how many starving children and poverty and blah blah blah. I'm like, bro, the reason that's happening is because you've left them in that state. That's why you've seen it with Afghanistan, see it with Libya, see it with Iraq. Man, Iraq's them. It's like Esau was meant to go there and save the world. But okay, are those people saved? But that's it, and that's what's getting ready to come. Because when you deal with Esau's land, it's that virgin daughter, untouched. It's not people over. It's okay. You had the Blitz, you had the little bombings of England, but you've not had that full scale invasion. What had that rawness? Same for America. They say, Pearl Harbor. You've not had where you just Russian troops parasailing into little quaint towns in the Midwest, and a man are getting AKs to the jawline. That's not happened. But that's the thing. It's gonna get raw. It's gonna get real. And people have had that fascination with it as well. Because you go back to like before 9/11, pretty much every movie was just about blowing up like big cultural icons, like terrorists taking over this and that. And then afterwards, after 9/11 as well, it was all trying to get that revenge, dream of revenge, of America just going crusading around the world and destroying everyone. But that's the thing, is when it happens in reality, you're gonna realize that the collateral damage is you. The collateral damage is the nobodies, man. The people that are just out here enjoying all these low-level enjoyments. They're the ones that are gonna be caught out there, man.
There's a good example of that on a low level. I'm watching, I think it was Abba and Preacher going into the transgender that came into the Korean, what do you call them things? Sauna place or whatever, hot tub, sauna type thing. And there was a transgender, this lady There was elderly like Koreans, and there was like women with their children. And basically, this transgender came in, like showing the male genitalia along with breasts, I believe, and just had it open, swinging in front of everyone. And then the women are looking at each other like, look, like, why is this person being let in? Like, why are they here, kind of thing. And they didn't know what to do. But it's like, look, these are laws that's been established. And it's only when, and these people are fully aware of it, but it went over their head as to the ramifications of all of these things, what it would mean when they come into play. So it's only now, when they met with it, that they realize, oh, this can actually be presented before me in this manner. So that's how all these other laws that are being passed, all these other things that are happening, they're gonna come meet them one day, and that's when shit will get real.
Yeah, Esau's draconian measures. Like everyone's getting in a huff over this. The one where the one Priti Patel's trying to push through to restrict like people's right to protest and whatnot. You know, everyone's getting up in a huff. But that shit's gonna get through anyway. And the thing is there's multiple laws that have been pushed through that are on the books that no one pays attention to. You know, people they pay attention to what they're told to pay attention to. They're not sitting out here actually going through and paying attention. They're thinking about Love Island. They're thinking about Loki. They're thinking about Black Widow movie. They're thinking about whatever new Netflix show is coming out or whatever. That's what they're thinking about. They're not thinking about what's going on in society. They're just like, oh, conservatives won again. And then, and then they're just like, oh, they're thinking about what drugs they're going to be taking on the weekend. You know, where they're going to be going, what that new tattoo they're going to be getting. You know, who they're going to be having sex with. The guy that you're going to be swiping through, seeing like, okay, well, whose DM I'm going to reply to for this weekend. You know, this is what that's what reality is. Not for much longer. Let me read this.
I've got another bit on Isaiah 13 I wanted to read. So this is Isaiah.
Wait, let me.
Go ahead.
Isaiah 32:9. Rise up, you women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. So yeah, that's all that ease. And that's the thing is, because of the main people who've gained the most through this ease is the women. Because as far as for them, when it's times of trouble, any of the dreams of what Esau's basically doing through through society, of giving women, putting women in a position of prominence, all these things, that shit goes out the window, unless you're dealing with Esau's establishment there, which give them the protections and means to even get to that kind of level.
Through the prophecy.
So yeah, it's woman shall come past a man, but then what that means that they're really at ease, and they've completely discorded themselves from the function of actually being a woman. So that means that like when the times of trouble comes, if they're not able to switch and play their role, it's gonna be peak.
Well, that's why it says the vintage shall fail. Kevin Samuels, Fresh and Fit, all these different red pills, quote unquote, manosphere videos are basically showing you that these women that have been benefiting from the system, like giving them all the benefits and everything, is really a lie, man. It's a deception. It's a lie. And they're realizing it now, but it's really gonna come to a head when this shit really deteriorates and comes to a halt.
Yeah, because
I wanted to read.
Go.
So this is Isaiah 13. Why did I say 12? 13 and 10. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in its going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. all that wisdom and knowledge of this world is gonna be dark in that time. Alright? Because we read earlier Isaiah 33:6 that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of that times. And there's a left hand moon, sun and the moon, and there's a right hand sun and the moon and the stars, which basically are different. Which is really the right hand is the true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Verse 11: and I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than a golden wedge of Ophir.
Yeah, that's basically that order being restored. So when you go into Corinthians, it goes into the order
Yeah, 11.
where
3.
fucking hell, it's insects. When you what do you call it? When you deal with the order, it's, the Most High, Yahweh, the man, the woman. That's gonna be put back in place. Because that's the thing, is like the brother read earlier, wisdom and knowledge is the stability. So you need to be dealing with with Yahweh Shem Shai, basically to be able to function, operate as a man really. And then that's when the order is going to be restored. Because the men are going to be raised up, as that golden wedge Ophir. They're going to be restored to that fine gold. And that's the thing, is when the world's in order, that's how it's meant to be. The man's basically put in a position of authority and ruling over, the righteous man, I should say.
God precept to back you up.
Yeah, and then as well, it's the woman's in order playing her role. Esau's made that a curse onto the world. It's like if a woman is playing any form of her natural role, that's seen as wickedness, that's seen as unrighteousness, which then just compounds the confusion. But then what do we end up with? We end up with this circumstance now, where it's like when that time comes, when troubles come, all of it goes out the window. All the social constructs cease to be, which is the same. It's like you go back to the ancient Romans. Whenever them Germanic tribes are coming in, that order, you think the women are the women are getting sent out there, to defend the walls, or the women in? Of course not. Even though them guys are homosexual, them guys are going off as hell. It was straight. When it comes down to the real, it comes down to the real. Because even now with like the army, the U.S. Army, they've lowered the bar for like women to join the military and be in active duty. But that's all that is gonna go out the window. Man, there was one guy's video I was watching, he was saying like women were literally becoming infertile just to try and keep up with the men and still falling short. I was like, God, I was like, what? That's how completely out of your spirit you're going, man.
Let's get the scriptures flowing, then you can bring up speaking and more. Isaiah 4:1. And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach.
Yeah. Women are basically gonna have to be returned to that state where they're then gonna realize there's a man that they're required to attach themselves to, and that's how real it's gonna get. Because that's the thing, is they're gonna have to pick out the correct man of standing or be caught out there.
And it's gonna be very easy for them to determine who the right man is.
Yeah, well, it's the wicked woman's a portion of wicked man anyway. It's
Yeah.
just like if you're gonna get judged out. It's like if you're a piece of shit, you're like,
you're gonna
don't waste your time, because you're like, no one knows. Some Instagram thought the weaves falling off, the fake nails, half of them are missing,
fake eyelashes,
all that,
linked
you
eyelashes
know,
and shit.
the booty, it's been displayed. One of
BBL.
the starting to get deformed. It's coming loose. It's you'll be sent on your way. But that's the thing, and these are all the lies. Because the thing is Esau's looking to tear down all this bullshit that he's set up. He's not looking to. He's thinking about his empire, his new world order. He ain't thinking about having no god that like all this nonsense that's going around now. This is just something that's pushed out. It makes people very easy to manipulate, man. So they said, man, was it mental illness like among children is hit like ridiculous highs because of social media. Like people are bugged out, man. Before you even grown up, didn't even have a chance.
Yeah, even our sister, the thingy, the youngest, she was like, yeah, I want to wear designer. What do you know about designer clothes? That's because she's on TikTok and Instagram. But that shows you she's like, what, 12 or something? That shows you how, these kids are being corrupted from a young age to want to wear designer. And it's kind of like the fabulous life of, remember we used to watch that on MTV, they used to show that. The fabulous life of this superstar. They live in a penthouse and they do this and they spend this much money on that.
You're meant to glorify it, because that's Esau. That's a big part of kind of the whole bread and circus. Is you're meant, it's an endless cycle of just chasing after what Esau is glorified and set there. That's what it's like, bro. There was one girl at work. She was like, I think, featured on like a music video or something, and it had like 20-something thousand views, and she was just like, oh yeah, I'm just so happy. It's just like so many people. I was like, well,
They're watching the music.
it's just like I'm like, why is that even of significance? I was thinking, man, the what do you call it, the thingy Nature's Corner, the Oxford Circus video. I was like, they almost hit 1 million hits.
Well, it is. They just shut
Yeah,
it.
they annihilate that.
That's like the brothers in New York. Their videos like 250,000, but it's been 250,000 for the past 3 years.
Yeah,
So that's definitely hit
they
a couple
just-
million over and over.
and it's just like they put it in a place where the views don't count. It don't show up in searches,
Yeah.
etc. But that's really how what you call it. Yeah, that's how it is, man. It's everyone that idea of fame, because it's like for us, I was like, okay, you're not even thinking about, oh yeah, I really like that people heard my music or da da da. You're thinking, oh my god, I got so many people looking at me. Oh, I could get fans. I was like, you're caught up in that fame ideal, man. Bugged out.
Let me read this on the point you made. So this is an article from Zero Hedge. It says 5 times more children. This one actually came out today. It said 5 times more children committed suicide than died of COVID-19 of C19 during lockdown. UK study. Let me just read a little bit of this. My phone is moving wild, man. One second.
Was it over here?
No, it's just glitching up. This article's like it works, and then it's like,
Let me find it.
and then it's like it's saying problem code. Okay, cool. It says 5 times more children and young people committed suicide than died of C19 during the first year of the pandemic in the United Kingdom, according to a study which also concluded that lockdowns are more detrimental to children's health than the virus itself. Researchers for the University College London, the University of York, the University of Liverpool, and the University of Bristol found in a study that has not yet been peer reviewed. This article's moving mad. They just keep on.
Yeah, I'm reading this. It's actually hilarious.
I mean, it's actually like glitching up on my phone, but
How is it?
yeah, but it says that has not yet been peer reviewed, that the CCP virus, wow, otherwise known as the C, doesn't appear to present a significant risk to children as compared to other age groups, really being elderly. All right. So yeah, you can check the article out. It's a short article, but basically it tells you that this virus ain't what they're making it out to be. It's actually all the lockdowns and all the plans that are being put in place are more harmful for the people than the virus itself. And that's really by design. They grind the people to mill to make them work accordingly for their agenda.
Let me read a bit. Continue on this. Matthew 24 and 8 says.
So
Oh, you got more?
yeah, because I'll just get to the point. It's like verse 16. So it says, therefore Isaiah 13 and 13. Therefore I will shake the heavens and the earth shall remove out of her place, in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, Yahweh, and the day of his fierce anger. And it shall be as a chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up, move fast. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. So these are the times that's coming, man. There's going to be a time where lawlessness is going to break out, and it's really good if that this bubblegum lifestyle that you experience right now, candy floss, sugar spice and everything nice, is not going to be the standard no more. There's going to be real judgments going forth. And even today, someone I know of said hello a few times, but it's like more my social group in the world kind of thing. She just dropped dead, all right? And it was just random like that. But the point being is that, like we said this before, there's a lot of people you know in the world, I know in the world, I keep it to myself, I know in the world that they're just dying of some random just run over by a lorry, freak accident in the garden or some shit, and they're just dying. And it's even Biz Markie died as well this morning, last night basically. All right. So you just have a standard now that's being set of death, people being very well acquainted with death. And these are part of those scourges that were meant for amendment that people are not aware of. They're not looking at it and thinking, wait, hold on. The stars are falling from heaven. And a lot of people around me are dying. Shit, that scared the shit out of me, the butterfly,
No,
man.
they don't want that.
But that's funny because a butterfly represents what? Life, new life. So it said, I said a lot of people are dying and the butterfly just went past. But that's what it is. It's basically out with the old and in with the new. It's the Lord basically setting the precedent for bringing in the new. And really showing you those who, some of us are going to be, Lord, through the Spirit are going to become martyrs for the faith, all right? But then also you're going to have some men that are going to endure unto the end. They're going to be here until the chariots come and the missiles fall. And those men are going to be part of, setting alight this world before the Lord makes his return, man. It tells you that, man. How, in the book of Luke 13, all right? But yeah, that's it on that.
Read this. Matthew 24:8. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And yeah, that's another point. When you deal with the elect, when you deal with the men of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, it's coming in the name of Yahweh Shai. That's always been a big contention. Because that's why it's going to Acts. They're like, yo, just don't teach in that name. The name is where people were taking issue. And that's how, hey, there's been that difference set, between the Lord's men and everyone else. And that's why it's the hedge, funny, zero hedge. The hedge around, the Lord's men.
That's kind of real. Yeah,
That separation is going to become more and more apparent. And really you're going to see it, because it's even now, it's when you go back to when the lockdown first started, people are bugging out, man. People are losing it. People are anxious as hell, waiting in line to go in Tesco, all like, oh shit, is there anything left? Grabbing up anything they can find on the shelf, because otherwise they'll just like, oh, I might not even be able to eat. It's that's the thing. For them, it's a far off thought that could even be possible. But easily now it's becoming apparent. And that's the thing, it's like you see the difference in someone that's like, they might have been a soldier and gone to war. They might have grown up in like a war torn. There's people from like certain parts of Eastern Europe where they were in a complete shit show after the Soviet Union fell. They've been and seen certain things to where they're just looking at things different. Or they might have family members who got fucking lenged in the head, all that. They might have experienced certain kinds of fucked up shit going without food, deprivation of various kinds. They've seen reality, And it's that's hey, that reality's coming in because at the end, hey, when it always comes down to that reality, people are gonna feel it.
There was one girl on Fresh and Fit the other day, and she was talking about her dad taught her how to like do like things with like manly tasks to kind of use it to vet men. But that's not the reason why I'm mentioning it. But he basically told her like, look, these are the plants you can eat in the wild. This is how you survive. Blah blah blah. I showed her survival tactics, and what she wound up saying was like, look, man, I need a man that can do this. But she's more, her mind is actually more fine tuned. You know, she's a woman, so it's not really that deep. But it's just there's people out there with this information, preppers. They're more they're waiting for this time to come. They're waiting for the Walking Dead. All right. Even there was one video, I know it's a TikTok video, but I see it on Instagram. There's an old Jake woman, and her daughter come to her and say, "Yo, mama, I took the vaccine." And she looked her up and down and said, "Yeah, what?" She was like, "Yeah, they probably forced you to take it." And she's like, "Yeah," and then she said, like, "Are you gonna take it?" And she said, "No, I ain't gonna be out here in a year walking around like a zombie. They ain't putting that." And this is a woman up in age. She's just looking at it like, "Fuck that shit, I'm not on it." But the point being is that there's people that are fine tuned towards that time. That's why you have preppers. That's why even there's people that are not even preppers, but they have more of a knowledge of the landscape of the layout of the land, and they know how to survive in the wilderness. And they're gonna have one up, or they may be military trained, whatever. The Heavenly Father is making it as to where there's a perfect,